Conference Finals come to a dramatic end with today's seventh-game showdown. It's a familiar spotlight for the defending champion Celtics, but uncharted territory for the youthful Pistons. At stake, a trip to the NBA Finals, where the Celtics have been and where Detroit dreams of going. This series will end today, but a trail of memories will linger on. Emotions have run the gamut from sheer exuberance to exhaustion, and at times have boiled over in frustration. There have been heroes, and there have been villains. But for 6 games, these teams have motored at full speed without yielding an inch. However, today, something will have to give. This marathon has been demanding and painful, and the finish line is finally within reach. The Lakers are already in the finals, and their road was easy compared to this war in the East. Today, only the fittest will survive. It's Game 7. Everyone, I'm Dick Stockton. A lot of people think that a Game 7 in Boston Garden means a Celtic victory. They have lost us 2 games in the last 85 in this building and have not lost a game to the Detroit Pistons in nearly 5 years. Detroit, though, feels that they have the answer to the Celtics, and so we'll see. My partner, as usual, is Tommy Heinsohn. Tommy, the temperature is 82 degrees and rising. We know it's hot and it's humid in this building. How does it affect both teams today?
Dick, I think the Celtics will be affected the most. Casey Jones very reluctant to use his bench. They have an older team than the Pistons. The Pistons have been playing 8 people, have not been used for an awful lot of minutes, and they're a younger ball club. I think that freshness will help the Pistons.
And they have to obviously pace the game early.
There's no question that pacing the game when in the very beginning of the ball game could help to take the effect, use the heat to the best advantage.
All right, Tommy. Robert Parrish, who served 1-game suspension, is back in the lineup for the Celtics, and the Pistons will counter with Vinnie Johnson, the microwave, off the bench. It's Game 7, the NBA on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1987 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer. Renault and Jeep, official vehicles of the NBA. And by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
The crowd is at the highest pitch possible here at Boston Garden as we look at the starting lineup. Robert Parrish back in there for Boston with the usual array and the same starting 5 who have played all 6 games previous for Detroit. It is now 84 degrees as we start this game. Darryl Garrettson and Earl Strom are the officials. Hugh Evans is the alternate. And the looks on the players' faces tell you what game this is. And it's going to be Detroit ball on a jump violation. Boston has all the experience. Detroit may have the young legs. And, Tommy, I guess they have to use those young legs early.
And consistently to affect a quicker meltdown of the Celtics. One-on-one by Adrian Dantley has been a big factor in their half-court offense.
Isaiah Thomas, first shot is blocked. Larry Bird, who has exploded the last 2 games with 36 and 35 points. And Dennis Johnson travels, turns it over. But you just talked about Adrian Dantley, who has gotten off to some hot starts in the first half. And right now, the Celtics have not really been able to solve that matchup.
He has really confused them. The normal man that defended against them has been Kevin McHale, but with the bad foot, they now put Dennis Johnson on him.
And they double with Larry Bird. And the Pistons have been able to move the ball well to get the open man. Missing is Dumars. And we still have no score with nearly a minute gone by.
Boston has to get their inside game going and their outside game going. They have not consistently gotten either one in any of those ball games.
Dennis Johnson driving and missing, and it's going to be Boston ball. Casey Jones flew all night and arrived this morning after attending his mother's funeral in San Francisco. He is 3-0 in 7-game series for the Celtics. And there is Parrish really muscling for position against Mahorn inside. And Detroit has it.
That's a key matchup for Boston to try and utilize. Parrish against Mahorn.
Still no score. With a minute and 20 elapsed. Dumars going strong to the basket, and he's fouled by Dennis Johnson. And Joe Dumars will have a chance to put the first points on the board. And there is Chuck Daly, whose career has touched all the bases from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where he started in high school. College assistant, a head coach at college, including Boston College, and of course NBA experience.
Well, he's done a great job blending together a star from another ball club and two rookies. Outstanding job.
The Pistons are not shooting well from the line in this series. They are 68%, and the Celtics have been outstanding.
Pistons have an unbeatable weapon that they have employed inconsistently in this series. Speed. Boston, the slowest team in the league, and all those injuries haven't helped them either.
It took a minute and 24 seconds for a point to be scored in Game 7. It's 1-0. Parrish. That's the pick and roll play that have caused the Pistons a lot of trouble this season.
They had it diagnosed for a couple of games, but it looks like Parrish went to the film room during that suspension.
Dumars from Dantley inside. Wisely did not go up against the big man, and Isaiah Thomas misses the layup. Parrish with a long pass to Danny Ainge, who pulls up. McHale had a chance for the offensive rebound. And Dennis Johnson made a great play decoying Joe Dumars, and it's Boston ball.
So far in this game, both teams have got fumbleitis. They both need to calm down. The Pistons, if they're going to uppace this game, really have to control their emotions.
And it's amazing that the Celtics, with all their experience playing at home, look jittery as well. Parrish setting a screen. Mahorn picks up Bird. Celtics have 7 seconds. Here's the pick and roll.
Parrish has utilized this play effectively, and Bird with the passer. As soon as Mahorn switches out, Parrish just releases against Dantley, and it's an easy two.
Earl Strom is getting things straight between McHale and Lane Beer, who are elbowing for position.
Very important how close McHale and Parrish can set up to the basket.
Kevin McHale, sensational effort Thursday night with 23 points, considering the flu that weakened him during the day, and of course the stress fracture and the ankle sprain he's been having. Misses the free throw. The foul was on Dumars, and the score is 4-1 Boston.
Now, 7th game on the roll. The goal for a team like Detroit is take the crowd out as quickly as possible. Make the site a neutral court.
Dumars silenced them for the moment. And a foul is called against Detroit. Here's a summary of the series thus far. And notice that the big wins were achieved by the Detroit Pistons. The Celtics won the most thrilling game. That was Game 5 by a point. The foul was on Dantley. And McHale hits another one, and it's a 6-3 game. Isaiah Thomas, who controls the tempo for this Detroit team.
They split the floor general role between Thomas and Vinnie Johnson.
Mahorn, this is a finger roll. Celtics are running in the first period. Danny Ainge. You know the Celtics want to control the tempo, but when the fast break is there, they'll take advantage of it.
They absolutely will, Dick. They never stop. They'll push it hard until they no longer can run themselves from fatigue.
Rick Mahorn committed a foul, and they're calling this game awfully close. Both Darryl Garrettson and Earl Strom, two of the more experienced officials in the NBA, want to make sure there's no funny business out there this afternoon.
Absolutely, and they want to let the players know what they will stand for as officials so that they can settle into the game as players.
3 team fouls already against Detroit. And Kevin McHale now has 5 of the Celtics' 9 points with a chance for another.
You know, Dick, it's not easy to officiate a 7th game, too. Referees getting a little jittery.
I guess everyone would be that way. So the Celtic lead is 7 with 8.5 to go in the opening period. Thomas, top of the key, and Isaiah Thomas with his first points. He is the second leading scorer for the Pistons behind Dantley.
And letting Dennis Johnson defend against Dantley, and Bird is playing Dumars.
And now they have Dantley on Bird, double teamed with Dumars. Ainge is open, finds Dennis Johnson, and a 3-second violation called against the Boston Celtics. Tommy, one of the things the Celtics were going to have to get today is good shooting from one of their guards. Dennis Johnson was 3 of 17, and Danny Ainge cooled off after a hot start Thursday night.
I think Danny Ainge is more likely to heat up than Dennis Johnson from the outside. Dennis's legs are gone.
Dumars hits his second jump shot, and now the lead is 10-7.
Well, Bird is the free safety defender. He let Dumars get to the point.
1-game season for one of these teams. Ainge. 3-point shot for Danny Ainge, who has 6 of the 11 3-pointers for Boston in the series. And they missed him when he was out with the knee sprain. Dantley with an inside move. And is there any way to stop some of his quick whirling dervish maneuvers?
For a guard, it's almost impossible. They got to try and get him on the dribble. That time, Dantley successfully gets down into that sweet spot around the red box. DJ not letting him bump him too much, but you watch that spin, and a little bit of size advantage used beautifully.
Dantley's first points of the game, and he has been doing most of his scoring in the first half. Ainge misses, Laimbeer the rebound, and here's Dumars, 3-on-3. They doubled Dantley. Here's Laimbeer, and Bill Laimbeer, who hit some very important fourth-period shots to hold the Celtics at bay, brings Detroit to within a pair.
That was the first fast break attempt, and they used the 4th guy up the floor, Laimbeer.
And Casey Jones wants the timeout with 6:51 to go in the first period. It's going to be interesting here.
Robert Parrish really does a great job. You'll see him right here, and he'll just break out up the fast break after the rebound. Very important, Boston controlling the pace right now with some easy baskets, something they were not able to do. Now, for Robert Parrish to be on the front end of a break puts heat on one of the guards to defend against him, and there's Danny Ainge just sliding through nicely to score 2.
All right now let's go to Pat O'Brien.
All right, thank you, Dick. The paper today says a sizzler, and they mean that more ways than one. I've been to both locker rooms. The Pistons have been practicing for the Heat for a couple of days now, learning about dehydration, how to take water, salt tablets, and that sort of thing. Over here in the Boston Celtic locker room, they have extra uniforms for all the players if they want to change at halftime. Just a final note on that. Larry Bird told me his air conditioning went out at home. I said, "You get it fixed?" He said, "No, I'm going to get it fixed next week while I'm in L.A." He's confident. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Pat, isn't he always? And, of course, here's a guy who's taken over as the big scorer. His field goal percentage has risen dramatically in the last 3 games. He's really hitting the shots now. The home court has prevailed in every game in this series. And that is kind of a rare occurrence in NBA history. Bird hits his first shot of the game and winds up on his back.
When he's got a small man on him, he's been going into the low post. When he gets a big one, he takes him outside, shoots over him.
Thomas penetrating, and Isaiah Thomas with the basket. What a dangerous performer if he can get that quickness inside.
But at times they have taken the ball out of his hands and easily denied him the ball, Danny Ainge, and the Pistons have complied. They haven't forced the ball to him.
Bird misses, and here comes Detroit looking to break, although Laimbeer waited to count to get the ball up court on the outlet. Dantley against Dennis Johnson. Ainge ready to double. They find Thomas inside. McHale blocks the shot with 6 minutes to go in the first period. Boston has led all the way except for the first free throw. And 2 points for Dennis Johnson.
And even when he's fresh in the first quarter, that shot has flattened out a little bit. He usually during the season when shooting well had a lot of arc on it.
The Celtics front line goes to town, and Dumars comes back. And Detroit's backcourt. And don't forget, we're going to see Vinnie Johnson coming off the bench, and he can heat things up in a hurry, even here today. McHale has the ball knocked away by Lambeer. Foot race. Thomas goes around Ames and gets the basket, and it's now a tie score, our first tie of the game.
That was great defense by Bill Lambeer to create that fast break opportunity.
McHale thought he was hit and didn't even go up court. But it was a clean play by Lambeer. Thomas gambling for the steal against Ames. Active all over the floor. Ames misses a three, and Mahorn, who had 18 rebounds on Thursday, clears it.
Great block out of Robert Parrish by Mahorn. He's been doing that all series long.
Pistons scored the first point of the game, and it's been all Celtics since. Lambeer gives Detroit a 19-17 margin.
You just cannot afford to let Lambeer roam around on the perimeter. The Pistons are keying on that.
And Lambeer said, I've got to hold the Celtics to under 10 offensive rebounds. Larry Bird hits, and Bird now with 4 points ties the score.
Bird feels confident that he can get his shot off against Dantley.
A foot block and a new 24-second clock for the Pistons. 4:15 remaining first period. The Celtics early had a 7-point lead, and the Pistons have come back, and it's a tight game now.
Dantley has really been reading these double teams beautifully. As soon as anybody approaches him on a double team, he's been finding an open man.
The Pistons have hit 9 of their last 10 shots. Dumars has hit a few, and now 10 out of 11 to give Detroit the lead again.
They are keying their offense, the Pistons, on whoever Larry Bird guards. They want to take his offense away by making him play defense.
Bird comes back and hits another. But, Tommy, every club wants Larry Bird to play defense against someone, and the Pistons can do it. And there's the fast break, and Detroit is getting underway early now.
And Joe Dumars is a little appendage to Isaiah Thomas right now. He's creating additional pace for the Pistons, something he didn't do in a couple of ball games.
And that was Mahorn with his first points of the game. Harris setting a screen, no pick and roll. Lambeer the rebound. Bird has been hot in the first period. 2-point lead for Detroit, and Isaiah Thomas makes it a 4-point game.
And the Pistons have been doing an outstanding job on the defensive glass, and they're pushing it hard at the Celtics off the rebound.
That's Lambeer and Mahorn. Dennis Johnson and Mahorn and Dantley. 2 Pistons fight for it. Out of bounds, Celtics ball.
One of the problems for Boston is that Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, with their bad feet, can't get to the sweet spot in that low post.
Here's long, tall Sally, who's made his mark, the 7-foot rookie from Georgia Tech, replacing Mahorn, and so the Pistons should run even more now with him in there, Tommy.
Rodman and Sally, I call them the streakers, and they're the guys that can potentially break it open with speed for the Pistons.
Seasting is also in there. That basket will not count, and Isaiah Thomas picks up his first foul of the game, and the Pistons will call their first timeout. Just under 3 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Detroit has the lead. Boston Garden Air Conditioning. They have opened the doors up on top to let some of the air in here, but these fans, I don't think they care about the heat. Maybe the players will later on. Vinnie Johnson, who has been an explosive hero off the bench for the Detroit Pistons, has come into the ball game now, replacing Joe Dumars. And Tommy, you've talked about why the Pistons have to get it started and go fast early. Why early?
Because the meltdown will continue. It can happen so much earlier if they pace the game in the first quarter. Vinnie Johnson will be very important. He is not a fast man pushing the ball up the floor, but he's got to push it up as fast as he possibly can to keep that pace a factor.
And the Pistons have been getting good shooting from their backcourt. Bird finds Dennis Johnson, and he'll go to the line. Isaiah Thomas, or was it Vinnie Johnson who missed an assignment on a switch? In any event, Joe Dumars, who just sat down, is coming back in the game, and Isaiah Thomas will get a rest.
Isaiah has been prone in this series to make foolish fouls, reach-in fouls that aren't necessary for a man of his stature that they need for other purposes.
So he sits down with 2 fouls, and here's Dennis Johnson on the line. The Pistons have been successful at times in the series with Isaiah Thomas on the bench, particularly Game 3 when during a 9-minute stretch, Vinnie Johnson led the parade.
But they slowed it down without Isaiah in there.
All right, let's see if they do the same now. Thomas has scored 8 points. 2:40 remaining. Seasting is guarding Dumars. We're in the first period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn at Boston Garden, Game 7. Dantley goes low. Dumars. Vinnie Johnson. There he goes again.
Boston's defense has got me confused. How can you leave Vinnie Johnson at the foul line wide open?
He hit 9 out of 15 and is shooting a blazing 54% against the Celtics. The lead is 6 for the Pistons. Dantley is on Bird. That's a matchup the Celtics would like to take advantage of. Dennis Johnson misses, and Bird gets the rebound. 2 minutes to go in the period, and Bird gets the basket and will go to the line. He'll fight for everything today, as he does in every game.
He's got to have a good percentage shooting afternoon, because any misses will create rebound opportunities for the Pistons to start fast break opportunities. And he's been really working triply hard the last couple of games.
John Sally with his first foul. The Pistons are in the penalty. The Celtics have committed only 1 team foul with under 2 minutes to play, and Detroit leading by 3. Off the screen is Vinnie Johnson, but Bird fights through it. And it's over the top to Vinnie Johnson. This is his second attempt, and the Celtics can come within 1.
They've changed their defense a little bit with Vinnie Johnson coming off picks, the Celtics. They're making automatic switches. They're just going out there to get at him quickly.
Boston led by 7. Detroit came back to take a 4-point lead, and another big defensive play by Lane Beer. Knocked the pass in. Dantley on Bird. And an illegal defense has been called against the Boston Celtics. That'll be their first. Second time, of course, will be a technical.
Watch Larry Bird at the top of that stack there. Just jump out at Vinnie Johnson before he can get the shot and go up with it. That's a new adjustment for the Celtics. Creates a little bit of a problem for Vinnie.
And Dantley misses, and Sally gets the offensive rebound as the Celtics just stood around and watched.
He, with those young, quick, jumping legs, heads right to the glass when anybody goes to double one of the Pistons.
Under a minute to go in the first period. Detroit by 5. Bird to Parrish all alone, and Laimbeer ties him up. Bill Laimbeer ties up Robert Parrish, and so we will have a head-to-head confrontation with the two who were involved in Game 5 when Parrish hammered Laimbeer, wasn't thrown out of the game, but then was suspended and fined following that game. Celtics. It's hot and humid in here. Bird has it stripped away by Dantley. The Pistons have made 4 sensational quick hand moves. And Dantley from Vinnie Johnson. And it's 31-24 and the biggest lead for the Pistons.
Well, Adrian Dantley has played all these minutes under hot conditions, and he's getting on the front end of the fast break. That's hustle.
25 seconds, 13 on the shot clock. Bird misses, and here's Vinnie Johnson. It's a 4-on-3, and the Celtics get back, and they're going to play now for the last shot of the period.
This has been an outstanding quarter for the Pistons so far. They've done exactly what it needed to be done to beat Boston in the 7th game.
Laimbeer is off the mark. McHale with 2 seconds to go, and that'll do it. Well, in Game 5, after 1 quarter, the Celtics led by 9. But today, in the only game that counts, it's Detroit 31, Boston 24. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn, after 1 period of play, the Detroit Pistons, who have scored a lot in this series, have 31. They have outscored the Celtics on the break. Bird has kept the Celtics in the game, but The Detroit Pistons have paced the game, and another thing, and that is the position in the low post. You talked about how important it is for the Celtics to do well inside.
The sweet spot right over the red box is important for Boston, and you're going to watch Bill Laimbeer just nudge Kevin McHale out as much as possible. But now you're going to see a big block by Adrian Dantley. Why that low post position is so important for Boston is that the further up the Pistons push one of the big people of the Celtics, the easier it is for the guards to double team, and the more difficult it is for Kevin McHale to spin into the hoop for those good moves he had around the middle of the season.
Isaiah Thomas, who went to the bench with 2 personal fouls, is still on the bench as the Pistons come out with Sally, Mahorn, Vinnie Johnson, Dumars, and Dennis Rodman, the other rookie. And the Celtics have Seasting and Dennis Johnson in the backcourt with Parrish, Bird, and Darren Day in the ball game for the Celtics. And as you know, the NBA Finals start Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern from the Forum.
This is the speed unit in there for the Pistons right now. Boston is trying to counter with their speed unit with Darren Day.
Bird, fall away, gets the roll, and Larry Bird has 11 points. He is the leading scorer in the game. Joe Dumars led the Pistons in the first period with 9. So Darren Day is in there, and he's guarding Rodman. Out of Southeast Oklahoma State, a good-looking rookie who has good legs. And Darryl Garretson has called the foul against Jerry Seasting of the Celtics.
Seasting is trying to make Dumars slow the advance of the ball up, to take time off the clock, to destroy the rhythm of pace in the heads of the Pistons.
The lead is 5 for Detroit. Dennis Johnson is all over Vinnie Johnson. Mahorn setting a screen. Great switch by Bird. He might have poked Vinnie Johnson in the eye. Misses the jumper. Larry Bird made all that happen for the Celtics defensively.
Well, Bird maybe can get at Vinnie Johnson's shot because Vinnie's a good leaper.
Darren Day, who has come alive as a contributor for the Celtics in this series.
Look how far out Robert Parrish has received the ball.
They have 6 on the shot clock. Celtics trying to manufacture something, and Dennis Johnson travels, and once again, they move the big men out.
Helping out for Dennis Johnson, who's had trouble watching Vinnie Johnson on any kind of pick and roll, and Bird, the consummate team player, gets right in there to give Vinnie Johnson trouble.
Sally is up high setting a screen. Bird is ready to switch off. Seasting stays with Dumars. Out of a screen is Mahorn. Rodman gets the offensive rebound, and it'll be a Boston Celtic foul in the act of shooting. And the foul is against Dennis Johnson, his second personal, as Kevin McHale checks back and Robert Parrish goes to the bench.
How Kevin McHale played that game the other night is beyond me. He had 3 soda crackers and a can of 7-Up. And to play that many minutes with that, wow.
Every time he wakes up these days, he's got a throbbing pain in the ankle. And you're just talking about his intestinal problem. Vinnie Johnson, who's pretty physical guard, got a little overzealous on the offensive end. So the Celtics have it now, trailing by 5. Bird. And Rodman taps it out to Seasting. Bird with an up fake on Mahorn. And taken down hard. He was taken down hard as Danny Ainge comes in for Dennis Johnson. The foul is on Sally and number 2 on the Georgia Tech rookie.
Well, don't get excited, Dick. That was a normal kind of takedown on a drive. And we're going to see Bird now just up fake Mahorn, take it to the hoop. Sally makes an adjustment, but does try to go after the ball and just kind of knocks him as he lost his balance.
If Larry Bird doesn't get excited, I won't get excited.
I'm sure you should. Because he just jumped right up and he said, hey, that's the normal play.
Larry Bird has missed just 3 free throws in the series. He's got 13 points in this game. And 2 minutes gone by in the second.
But the pace has gone out of the Pistons' attack, Dick. They're slowing it down with Dumars bringing it up. And Seasting all over Dumars. Right.
Traveling against Rodman. And Boston trailing by 3. And Chuck Daly may be thinking just that. Let's get the Pistons really running.
CBS Sports, we will rock you.
We will rock you.
We're back here early in the second period, and the Detroit Pistons, who are up by 7, are leading by 3. Tommy, you talked about the Pistons running game. Do they have a way to run with Isaiah Thomas out of the game?
They sure do, particularly when the 2 streaks are in there. They can outdistance any of the Celtic forwards, and Rodman is way faster than Larry Bird. They've just got to push it up fast and find Rodman. He's going to be open an awful lot.
Larry Bird, by the way, has scored the Celtics' last 9 points in the game, so he has come out in a big way. He's been their leading scorer in the series, has 13 right now, and the Celtics looking to cut it to 1. Bird. Knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Pistons ball. Dennis Johnson went in to change his jersey, and that may not be the last time he'll do that.
And look at Seasting once again delaying Dumas, bringing the ball up the court. They've already broken the rhythm in the Pistons' heads.
Vinnie Johnson off the screen hit Berry's one. Vinnie Johnson, who coming into the game had taken 3 fewer shots than Adrian Dantley. That's for a 6th man. And the Pistons leading by 5. Ainge goes low to McHale. Sally stays with him nicely. Good rotation by Detroit defensively, and Darren Day draws the foul. He found an opening, but the Pistons played the rotation well.
They, because the Celtics have moved in to try and hit those outside shots, have an easier rotation. They get to that player quicker. So the guy that's having the most trouble with that has been Jerry Seasting, trying to get his outside shot off.
Meanwhile, John Sally goes to the bench with 3 personal fouls, and that will hurt the offensive rebounding and the running game for the Pistons, and they bring back the veteran Lane Beer. Team fouls are 2 apiece so far, and free throw shooting has been a factor as the Celtics have been outstanding and the Pistons have struggled from the free throw line.
Well, the speed advantage for the Pistons is now on the bench, Dick. And the potential for a crack in the Celtics' armor to utilize speed is now sitting on the bench.
Darren Day, who had 16 points, a series high on Thursday, cuts it to 3. Boston going to the line much more because of their inside game. Isaiah Thomas, and there's Lane Beer popping out and hitting another. Lane Beer now with 3 field goals from outside.
And they're doing a tune on Bird's head. They're getting him to step in for the penetration just the least little bit, and then they'll shoot it over to Lambeer. Whoever Bird's guarding is getting the ball.
Tommy, can you gauge the Celtics' fatigue even this early? Is there any coming up?
The key guy to look for is Bird. He has not been out of this ball game. McHale has been out for a while. And that's where the speed advantage lies, perhaps, against Larry Bird.
Day dribbled into a crowd. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Working against Mahorn, and he turns the ball over. Well, we know the Celtics are doing it from the front court. In the back court today, the Pistons have the edge.
Celtics have virtually given up trying to get Kevin McHale the ball in the low post.
He's taken only 2 shots. He got a lot more even on Thursday night when he was sick. Thomas to Dantley on a pick and roll and a foul. McHale got part of the ball, but he also got a part of Dantley. And for McHale, his first foul.
Now, Dantley, what he does is play for contact. He wants you to foul him, to feel for him, and sometimes he'll just jump right into your arm. And that time, McHale did not let go, and I think Dantley hurt his back.
Speaking of Dantley, as Robert Parrish checks back into the ball game, Dantley has done most of his damage in the first halves of games, with the exception of Game 4 when he exploded in a big way in the second period. And he said, this is a totally different game for me. Against Darren Day, I could post up. But now that they've got Parrish back in there, I've got to start from outside and work my way in.
And when he's had the ball, the Celtics have been timing the double team very poorly. They're letting him see the defense too much to pick out openings.
Dantley struggled tremendously from the free throw line in the last game. And he seems to have gotten his rhythm so far in this one.
Adrian Dantley, one of his great attributes is not only his scoring, but his passing ability.
Taken only 3 shots, but he has 6 points in the game, and once again, the Pistons match their biggest lead. has yet to come out of the game. Lane Beer on a switch. McHale pick and roll. Nice play, Celtics.
Mahorn was right there. Took away the layup. Made McHale take a tough shot.
Just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Detroit led by 7 after 1. Danley with a move on McHale. Blocked by McHale.
McHale with a little bit more mobility on that play. He's the guy that usually plays Danley.
Bird hits a 3. Bird is 3 for 13. Normally that's a dagger to the opposition. He has not connected on three-point shots coming in here, but that was a big one in this first half. Brings the Celtics within 2, and Danny Ainge with his first personal foul. And the Celtics with 4 team fouls. Next one, they'll be in the penalty.
Ainge has got a tough job with a knee that was giving him problems to try and contain Isaiah Thomas right now. Should he want to penetrate?
Dennis Johnson staying with Vinnie Johnson, who shoots it anyway and hits anyway.
Chuck Daly said, you should see Vinnie get mad in practice. He never misses. I wonder if that last time out, Chuck didn't smack him in the mouth.
Yeah, he says, you know, I ought to try to get him mad in a game. Vinnie Johnson, he says, told me his time is limited. He says, I got to get it going soon because if I miss some shots, out I come. They're not taking him out so soon. Pistons by 4. Winding down to 7 minutes to go in the half. Double on Bird. McHale, good feed from Bird. Mahorn the rebound. Outlets nicely to Vinnie Johnson. 3-on-2 break to Danley, who's fouled by Larry Bird.
Oh, that was just a great, great play by Larry Bird. I don't think there was a foul there. Absolutely fantastic. One man defending 3. Bird just plays super defense here. He's got 3 Pistons. He makes them pass the ball who he wants to get the ball, and that's Danley on the left side, so Danley has to bring the ball to him. He hit the ball, but then on the way, the follow-through after blocking the shot hit Danley on the arm. Now, that's as good as you can play a fast break with one man. He just forced the passer to pass the ball where he wanted to.
For Bird, it's his first personal, and for the Celtics, they are now in the penalty. 5 team fouls, only 2 against Detroit. Well, the NBA Finals will begin Tuesday night at the Forum in Inglewood. The Los Angeles Lakers will have waited 8 days to get underway after sweeping Seattle, and they'll play the winner of this game Tuesday night, best of 7. First 2 games will be in the Forum, and then they'll come back for 3 games in the Eastern Conference winner, if necessary, and the final 2 would be back out west. Robert Parrish had a rest for 3.5 minutes, and he's back in. He has scored only 2 points, but certainly a tremendous presence for the Celtics, and as Danny Ainge says, the last resort defensively inside.
Mahorn is getting to him quickly on the rebound, so he's not even in close to the basket, and the Celtics aren't cooperating with Robert by giving him the ball in that low post so he can take some shots over Mahorn.
Scoring for the Pistons, led by Dumars with 9. Danley looking for his 8th point of the game. Isaiah Thomas also is checked in with 8. 41-35. Detroit. Celtics had the early lead in the game by 7, and then the Pistons have drawn a 7-point lead in both periods. McHale and nearly lost it, and Johnson saved it. Rodman, or Thomas, gets it over to Danley. Danley wants Thomas to clear out. Isaiah with a fake and a swooping play, and here comes the Celtics. Danny Ainge all the way in. Danny Ainge has 7 points, and he's giving the Celtics what speed that they've lacked.
They had 2 defenders back there to cover Danny Ainge, and he still found a way.
41-37, Pistons by 4. Their lead has fluctuated from 2 to 7. Vinnie Johnson misses and Parrish rebounds. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half. This is game 7. The winner goes on, the loser goes home.
And there's the fight at the top of your screen. And right now, Parrish inside.
Robert Robert Parrish shooting over Mahorn. The Celtics will get the ball to Parrish if Mahorn is on him.
Mahorn is too small to guard Robert Parrish. Mahorn's only hope is to muscle him out of the lane.
It's a two-point game. Vinnie Johnson misses, and a loose ball foul has been called against Detroit. It is only their third team foul. And the foul is against Rick Mahorn. That is his second personal foul. Celtics looking to tie this game. 5:20 on the clock. First half. Dennis Johnson. Beer blocks out McHale, and here's the fast break. Dumars open baseline. Celtics had an opportunity, and Detroit now up by 4.
That was a classic quick outlet pass and right at the defense.
Detroit 4 for 10. They've been blistering the last 4 games to the tune of 57%. McHale working his way in, gets the basket and the foul. Thomas's third personal foul.
As McHale is close to the sweet spot as possible, now he rolls into the middle, and there's Isaiah backing away. I don't know, that might have been a non-call.
McHale misses the free throw, but the Pistons have 2 players, Isaiah Thomas and John Sally, burdened with 3 personals and 4:45 to go in the half. 43-41 Detroit, isolating against Dennis Johnson. Dantley doubled. Dumars. Beer has the ball knocked away. Thomas misses. Mahorn and Dennis Johnson fight it out of bounds. Detroit ball. Earl Strom right there to make the call.
When the Celtics start doubling the Pistons, what happens is all the Piston big men go immediately to the glass, and guards end up having to block out Mahorn or Lambier. That's too tough a job.
Dennis Rodman replaces Isaiah Thomas, who goes out with 3 personal fouls. So a big team is in there for Detroit as Dantley travels. Larry Bird made that happen. But Bird's playing a fantastic defensive first half here.
You got to do a tune on Adrian Dantley's head. Don't let him know when the double is happening all the time. Vary the rhythm of it.
Dennis Rodman is playing a guard position right now. Parrish. And a loose ball foul called against Kevin McHale of the Celtics. And the Pistons will shoot the other way.
Here you're going to see the double team now by Bird, who just stepped in as Adrian had his eye on the basket. That's what caused the walking violation.
Tommy, this is the first time that we have seen the Pistons use a lineup that has really only one natural guard in there, and Joe Dumars. They do not have Vinnie Johnson or Isaiah Thomas in there with them.
Now that's very important, because now it's going to definitely slow down to a half-court game. And that is not good for a real strategy that Chuck Daly counted on. Running these guys. Now Sally could help with the speed, so could, well, Rodman's in there now. They still might have the chance to run, but Dumars is not a real hard push man.
1 out of 2 for Lambier. The lead is 3 for the Pistons. Detroit led by 7 after 1 period of play. Game 5, a game in which the Pistons had in their back pockets before Larry Bird stole it away. Celtics led by 9 after 1. Dennis Johnson in good defense there. Parrish follows up. Rodman stopped DJ once. Parrish with the offensive opportunity.
But the penetration made Mahorn take his eye off Parrish. That's how Parrish got the rebound.
Detroit's lead is cut to 1 now. Intercepted by Ames. Pistons wanted a foul. None forthcoming. Celtics can take the lead, and you'll know it. First foul. Vinnie Johnson will come back in the game, and the Celtics have their first lead since a 17-15 edge in the first period. Hale missing again from the line, and now Detroit with an opportunity to regain the lead.
They're playing the better half-court game right now, the Celtics.
They're getting the ball inside the way they like it. Dumars lost control and gets the basket in the foul. That was almost by accident, and Parrish looks like he's limping again.
I think he took it in the knee, Dick. He tried to cut off the penetration, but anytime Dumars gets by Danny Ainge and Kevin McHale, and it looks like a knee in the thigh by Joe Dumars. And the Celtics, as we know from Thursday night, can ill afford to lose Parrish because they really hurt without him.
They don't win without him. It's as simple as that. They may win with other guys out, but they don't win without Parrish. He limped off the court twice in Game 5 and has had a 3-day rest. Dumars misses the free throw. He'll get the loose ball. Go for 3 and hit the 3. Joe Dumars is only the second Piston to hit a 3-point shot in this series. Isaiah Thomas had the other 4.
Dumars has hit some key shots when they've needed to have him hit key shots.
McHale spins around and comes back. Kevin McHale with a red-hot second period has scored 8 points.
He has not been able to use the spin moves because he's had difficulty planting that fractured foot.
Dumars slices inside and is fouled, and he'll shoot. Joe Dumars may play in the shadow of Vinnie Johnson and Isaiah Thomas, but Dumars in this series has shot 55%. This is the tale so far in game number 7. We have halftime coming up, and let's go up to the second balcony and Pat O'Brien. Patrick?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. About 100 degrees up here. We'll get to that in just a minute. Coming up on the Prudential at the half, we're going to go out to Santa Barbara, California. That's where the Lakers are, and we'll talk live to Michael Cooper. Golf has rained out today, but there's a lot of sports news, and we'll get to that. And our first annual NBA playoff poem, Ode to the Survivors. They're already yelling, beat LA here. It's about 100 degrees up here. Here's the outfit of the day up here. Dave, how long did you plan this outfit?
Excuse me?
How long did you plan this outfit?
Took me about 10 minutes because my mother said...
It's 100 degrees up here. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Pat, don't forget, if you go out that door, you're going to need a ticket to get back in. So just stay inside this place. Tommy with the decision to put Dennis Johnson on Adrian Dantley. That opened up another area for the Pistons.
Well, they alertly stopped going to Adrian Dantley, and they elected to go at whoever was guarding Joe Dumars. That happens to be either Larry Bird or Kevin McHale. And Dumars, a guard with the quick feet and the good dribble, ought to be able to beat either one of them one-on-one.
Dumars, believe it or not, is shooting over 50% in Boston Garden coming into this game, and he is 7 for 9 from the field. He now has 17 points. So the quiet man from McNeese State in Louisiana making his presence felt in a clutch game first half.
Well, that's the flip side of Dennis Johnson playing Adrian Dantley, turning Dumars loose.
1 out of 2 for Dumars. It's 50-47. Detroit, 2.5 to play. Dennis Johnson is only 1 for 6 shooting. He has really been in a shooting slump. 4 for 23 the last 2 games.
The Pistons have put a torture test on Dennis Johnson. They've worked him up in the backcourt, really made him spend his stamina more bringing the ball up than shooting the ball.
Dantley with his second foul, and of course everything from here on in this first half is a shooting situation, and it'll be Larry Bird on the line. Bird is 3 for 3 today, so that makes it 40 out of 43 in the series at the line for Bird. Is there a smarter player in the NBA today than that man?
Larry Bird is the master of the half-inch. All he needs is that much of an opening, and he'll score on you. He uses it by faking people out of position just that much.
He has 6 assists to go with the 18 points and fine defense. 1-point lead for Detroit. Nearly 2 minutes to go in the half. Rick Mahorn. And the Celtics find it very difficult to wrest that lead away from Detroit with 2 minutes to go.
That was a pick-and-pop play that they've been using for Lambert. The Celtics played it pretty well, but the Pistons came right back and found Mahorn for an easy one.
Parrish is yelling at someone as Mahorn gets great position and misses the layup, but McHale tips it in. Well, I never saw Parrish talk so much in the low post as he did on that sequence.
Talk about spreading out. I'll tell you, he had his legs practically straddling the lane.
Again, a one-point lead Pistons. A minute and a half remaining. Dumars, red hot, hits another one. And Joe Dumars has 19 first-half points.
Remember the game he played against the Lakers when out in the Silverdome in his rookie season? He just burned the Lakers, and he looks like he's heating up today.
Again, the lead 3. Ainge, of course, can erase that in a hurry. So can Bird. Dennis Johnson still struggling. Laimbeer outlet to Dumars. Bird is back defensively. Dumars lays it in. But Larry Bird got back in a hurry. Under a minute to go.
Great outlet pass by the Pistons to get that speed in action. And Dantley really helped out by running hard.
Mahorn and Parrish fighting for position inside. Ainge to Dennis Johnson. Basket counts and a foul. And Bill Laimbeer claiming that Dennis Johnson pushed off. But what a great play after a fine pass from Ainge.
I don't know how Danny Ainge found him. Dennis Johnson was on the opposite side of the court, just slipped in the lane. And there is a beautiful up fake by Dennis Johnson to create that foul on Bill Laimbeer.
56-54. Bird has 18, McHale 16 for the Celtics. Dumars 21. Dantley and Thomas have 8. 12 on the shot clock. Dantley takes too many steps. Again, Larry Bird.
Bird did not let Dantley feel him. And he moved his feet very quickly to deny Dantley the shot.
A technical foul has been called. Let's find out officially if it's against Dantley. Bird will take the shot.
I think it was. Here's the turnover now. Look at Bird just swing back and right on Dantley's shooting hand, and Dantley knew that he was going to be bothered on the shot. He walked instead of releasing the ball.
And there was a second delay of game warning. That's what did it. It wasn't Dantley himself getting the technical. Arguing with Earl Strom, it was the second delay of game warning.
He wouldn't give the ball to the official. When you turn it over, you got to give it to him.
Well, the Celtics started off with a quick 2-0 lead in this series, and they have never lost a playoff series after taking a 2-0 lead. But it's come down to one game. So many twists and ironies riding here. The Celtics, of course, playing a 7th game where they're mostly successful. The Pistons not having won here in nearly 5 years. They've dropped 17 straight. And the amazing home court advantage with all the ghosts, the ghouls, the leprechauns, which you once talked about here at Boston Garden, where somehow the Celtics find a way. And Detroit, though, playing good basketball in this first half.
Absolutely. And I thought they really had the measure of the Celtics in that first quarter. They turned that speed loose, but it's now residing on the bench. The pace game with Isaiah Thomas, who committed some foolish fouls and more or less took himself out of the game.
Dennis Rodman is in the ball game, and of course Chuck Daly wanted to make sure he could put Rodman in that situation. Now Casey Jones with a beat. It has to do with a 20-second timeout. Dantley is on the bench. He has scored 8 points and has 2 fouls, so this is a slow start for Dantley considering what he normally does. There's 1 second difference between the game clock that you see and the 24-second shot clock. And the Celtics will look to take the lead before halftime ends. Bird. Laimbeer with 3 seconds to go. Vinnie Johnson fires it up at the buzzer and nearly hit. You'd expect this from a Game 7. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Pistons 56, the Celtics 55. Pat O'Brien will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message.
And retaped, and yeah, he's injured. But this is the 7th game, so he's got to be.
Life goes on with this team, doesn't it? All right, Casey, thank you. Let's go back to Dick.
This has got to be the gamest professional team in a very tough sport that I have seen since I've started watching sports. And Tommy, you've been part of it. I don't remember a club that has hung in there despite all these debilitating injuries and pressure. And here they are. They survived a 7-game series against Milwaukee miraculously. And here they are again. Not to say that they're going to win this game, but the fact is that it's so tough to repeat as champions. And they've really gone the 100 miles here. You're looking at scoring and rebounds, and notice Bird has only 1 rebound in the first half. For the Detroit Pistons, their leading scorer is Joe Dumars.
Larry Bird, only 1 rebound. I think what he's been doing is getting back on defense to protect against the fast break, as we saw that one time in a replay, and also going more to the outside game, so he's not near the boards for the offensive rebound. Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale for Boston really have to come to the fore now offensively in order to not have to, Casey Jones not have to worry about that outside shooting, whether they're making it or not making it.
As far as the Celtics, who have really gone with a basic 5-man team all year, they have done it in a dramatic way in this game. Only Jerry Seasting with 7 minutes and Darren Day with 4 have come in for the starters. So they have played 109 of the 120 minutes, and that's a lot of time.
If there isn't a puddle of water in the middle of the court when this game is over, I want to find out how many of these Celtics, they may be down to their knees or their elbows, and the rest of them just in a puddle of water. They are playing hard, and Casey Jones says we've done it this way all season long. We'll do it this way in a key game.
And it won't mean anything. There won't be any asterisk if the Detroit Pistons end up winning the NBA Eastern Conference Finals as we start the 3rd period. Dumars is on Johnson. Isaiah Thomas is guarding Ames. The horn on Parrish. They go to Bird, covered by Dantley. McHale gets the offensive rebound and scores.
Mahorn just turned McHale loose. That was a big shot by McHale.
And winding up on the ground is Thomas as he missed. And here's Ames putting on the burners again, and Dumars slows it down. Celtics lead by 1.
And Isaiah came out of the locker room ready to take it to the hoop.
Boston 57-56 over Detroit. Bird will go to the line as the left-handed drive didn't go in.
Big point for this game in the second half is Boston's ability to offensive rebound. Lambier did not put a body on McHale, and with those long arms, he'll out-rebound Lambier.
Adrian Dantley picks up his 3rd personal foul, so Dantley, Thomas, and Sally all have 3 fouls for the Pistons. The Celtics don't have any player with 3 fouls in this game.
They've taken their defensive scheme off of Larry Bird. They didn't double him that time to help Dantley out.
21 for Bird. Celtics by 3. Dumars nearly walked. Thomas misses again. 2 misses by Thomas, and here come the Celtics. Ames finds Johnson trailing. That could be a big confidence booster.
And they got it running themselves. They're trying to accelerate the pace of the game. What courage!
6 in a row run off by the Celtics in the start of this 3rd period. A minute and a half has elapsed. Dantley ends the string, and Adrian is only in double figures now with 10. Dantley is on Bird.
See that hard push of the ball by Dennis Johnson? That'll put the heat on the Pistons defense a little bit.
Lambier picks up Bird. Parrish against Dantley with a lot of inches, and Lambier makes a fine block from behind. Another fine play by Lambier. Dantley again from outside, misses this time. And the Celtic lead is 3.
Celtics couldn't outlet the ball. They'll give it to Dennis Johnson and let it slow it down and try and get it inside.
And a foul inside against Detroit. It's against Rick Mahorn, and that's his third foul.
We're going to see a great fast break by Kevin McHale. Guts and all with the bad foot. Head up the court after the rebound. Dennis Johnson is going to end up with the shot. But you watch how Kevin McHale turns on the Jets and creates pressure on the defense of the Pistons, who are really hustling back. Now you're going to see there's one man, two man, three man, that by Kevin McHale just hustling up opens up for this man to get the shot from Danny Ainge. That is all-out hustle. They retreat to protect McHale, and as Dennis Johnson wide open for the jumper. I don't believe he ran up the court that hard.
It's 61-58, and Mahorn now with three. Danley with three. Thomas and Sally have three personals. The Celtics have no one in foul trouble as of yet, with 9:45 to go in this third period. The Celtics scored the last 4 points of the first half, the first 6 of this half, before Danley's basket. Dennis Johnson, and he's called for the offensive foul, and that's 3 on Dennis Johnson. He's the first Celtic to pick up his third.
I'm surprised the Celtics are not getting the ball more to Robert Parrish in that low post, unless his ankle is really bothering him.
That may be. Isaiah Thomas trying to get things started. Dumars with a great first half. Danley against McHale. Adrian Danley has scored both Piston baskets here in this third period.
What a move that time by Adrian Danley. Kevin McHale thought he had him measured.
Danley went to the line 4 times in the first half. Dennis Johnson misses. Mahorn the rebound.
Missed outside shots will translate into things like this. Hard pushes.
After long rebounds, and Isaiah Thomas fouled by Danny Ainge will go to the line, and Earl Strom is giving Danny Ainge more than Ainge gave him. 3 on Ainge, though, so the starting guards for the Celtics, each with 3.
Their outside shooting, as the game goes along, has deteriorated probably the last third of the season because of the minutes that they've played. That's the first thing that goes, is your outside shooting if you get tired.
Speaking of outside shooting, Isaiah Thomas is cold so far. 4 of 11.
But he spent an awful lot of time on the bench.
And they're going to call Laimbeer with a foul. Lane violation. Bill Laimbeer angry after the lane violation. Watch
On the right of your screen, you watch Laimbeer just come in and as saying no. He bumped him. He gave him a foot fake.
Parrish is limping. He is limping, and he's yelling something over to Casey Jones. We're tied at 61 with 8:35 remaining third. Bird and Danley. 3 on the shot clock. 1. They don't get it off in time. No basket. The 24-second clock expired. Ainge's shot came after the clock expired.
Too much time in the backcourt. Too much time deciding what play to run.
The Pistons, meanwhile, have scored 5 in a row to quiet the crowd, and they're looking to regain the lead in this 7th game. And Danley short off the front rim. 4 minutes elapsed. Third period. Thomas got a hand on the pass.
Boy, he almost picked it off.
Ainge misses a 3, and Laimbeer with 9 rebounds.
That's not the thing to do. Take that outside shot then.
And it's last touched by the Celtics. Detroit ball. They're at Boston Garden for Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final, and down to 1 game to decide it all. Dumars misses. And we have a tie with 7:40 to play in the third period.
No inside play by either team right now. Both teams relegated to outside shooting, and they're both a little tired, I think, from this heat.
Parrish is fouled. Somebody on the Pistons will pick up 4, and Parrish is hurting. Isaiah Thomas picks up his 4th personal foul and will leave the game, but Robert Parrish I don't know how much more can they re-aggravate that ankle.
You know, when you sprain it once and all those ligaments are ripped off, what really happens after a couple of days, it heals a little bit, and you're going to watch Parrish now in a low post, and he tries to spin in. That's what the Celtics should be doing a little bit more, but he lost his balance completely, and a little twist sure hurts.
Tommy, Isaiah Thomas has remained in the game. He went over to the Piston bench, and Chuck Daly kept him in the ball game with 4.
I think that's a good move. Now, he's got to tell Isaiah to calm down. Don't go for the bad steals. No gambles whatsoever. We need you to pace this game.
Parrish with both of them. And the Celtics lead by 63 to 61. We've had 4 ties, 4 lead changes. Detroit led by 7 after the first. Thomas hitting the baseline jumper, and he can get red hot in a hurry.
Well, Danny Ainge made a foolish defensive play. Isaiah gave him a great up fake, and Ainge bid for it. That's how Isaiah got into the defense.
Tied again. McHale will shoot 2. And we'll have a timeout. That foul is on Mahorn. So Mahorn and Isaiah Thomas with 4 fouls. Game 7, and the game is even here. Nearly midway through the third period. Here's the total of playoff games by the 3 clubs left. Lakers have played only 12. Tommy, what would be the mindset going into the finals, which start Tuesday night, to a well-rested Laker club and a team after a grueling 7-game set here?
Should the Celtics end up winning this game, it's going to be like the Marines invading Japan. That's how tough it's going to be for them to face the Lakers. And if the Pistons should win, they're going to have to completely change their style of play to play against the Lakers. Here, against the Celtics, they've been expected to up-pace the game. I don't think the Pistons are as good a running team as the Lakers. They may have to slow it down.
John Sally with 3 fouls replaces Rick Mahorn, who goes out with 4. And you'll see the foul situation as Kevin McHale goes up on the line to shoot.
Now, Sally represents a chance for the Pistons to break this deadlock with a little bit of speed. He can get out on the wing or can be the 4th man up if they can get some rebounds, the Pistons, and push it up hard.
20 points in the game for Kevin McHale. The Pistons have gotten scoring only from Danley and Thomas here in this third period, and Boston has the advantage.
That means it's a half-court game, Dick.
Thomas hits, but it's still Thomas. There's a long pass to Danny Ainge. He played baseball and he plays basketball, and probably been a good back out of the backfield, too.
That looked like a pop fly to the infield the way he was going after that one.
Tied again. McHale setting a screen for Bird. No pick and roll. McHale moving Dantley back. He's got a big height advantage, this Kevin, and he loses the ball to Lane Beer. Dumars has Johnson to beat, and a left-handed layup. Good play by Dumars, who has 23 to lead Detroit.
And should he have missed that shot, Sally was right there for the cleanup rebound.
He's done a lot of that. So is Rodman in this series. Nearly halfway now through the third. They're giving Dennis Johnson, it seems, the outside shot initially. Goes inside. And another tie at 67. Thomas. Loose ball. And a loose ball foul against the Pistons. And that'll be the 3rd on Bill Laimbeer as Parrish continues to be amongst the walking wounded.
That was a real hustle foul by Bill Laimbeer. He hustled up on that initial thrust. Now, you watch Parrish in the middle. Anytime you're in that pack like that, you can come down on somebody's foot. And just the slightest little twinge is giving him agony.
Well, you remember Game 5, he came down on Bird's foot one time. He came down on maybe Laimbeer's another time. And, you know, this is not a
a sedentary game. It's not a game for people who like to walk around the golf course.
What happens is that after you've sprained it once and it heals a little bit, as I was saying before, any little injury re-tears whatever healing had taken place. But you can still play because it's taped real well. But it hurts.
The Celtics are shooting in the penalty with almost 6 minutes left, or a little less than 6 minutes remaining in this period. Celtics have committed only 1 foul. Dantley on the offensive rebound. Isaiah Thomas still struggling from the field, and Sally was hit in the head. John Sally.
There are arms and elbows and legs flailing around in there.
Dantley knocks the ball away from Bird. 2-on-1 for Detroit. Sally tries to slam it in, and Parrish commits the foul, his second.
They are in right now a position, the Pistons, to really break this game open if they can really make this fast break work. Now, you watch Dantley, great play, and Sally really comes up behind the play. There's a 3-on-2 situation, and Sally has a good chance to cram it, but there's only 2 defenders down there. The Celtics not getting back. They're tired.
You remember in Game 6, the Celtics, even without Parrish, managed to hang tough through 3 periods with the Pistons before they went on their 11-0 spurt in the 4th period. So it could happen at any time. Right now, let's go to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Dick, you talked about Robert Parrish being among the walking wounded. Dr. Thomas Silva agrees with you on that. I just talked to him. He said they retaped his ankle again very hard, as Tommy pointed out. And Parrish, he's very, very worried about him. He said the heat is universal, but Parrish's condition is acute. So we'll see how that story develops. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Pat. And you see Parrish, but meanwhile on the Pistons side, you're looking at a forgotten man who lost his job to Rick Mahorn. Sidney Green, forced to be used in this game by Chuck Daly because of all the fouls. A good rebounder.
He is a good rebounder, and he can get out on the break, too. They're going to have 2 speed merchants. He's the 3rd streaker that they can use, the Pistons, to make it happen for a blowout or a breakout.
Look at the eye on Sally. His left eye is closed. If this were a fight, they'd stop it.
Well, he's pretty gutsy. Well, he's opened it up now.
You know, he is the team comic. He's about as personable young man to come into the league as we've seen in recent years.
Chuck Daly loves him. He said he gives real atmosphere to our practices.
It's 1. Detroit leading by 1. There's the time remaining, 3rd period. Bird is 21, McHale 20 to lead the Celtics. Bird, bullseye, 2 points for Larry Bird. Bird has played the entire game. He has not come out at all in the heat, and I think that's the way he likes it. And Dantley is fouled and will go to the line to shoot a pair.
What McHale does when he plays Adrian Dantley is back off, try and take away Dantley's speed and then spin move and wait till he releases the ball. Now you watch him, he'll back off just a little bit, and then when the ball is released, he'll go for the block after he releases it. But Dantley is so cute. He uses his body to ward off McHale and take away that height advantage.
He's listed at 6'5". A lot of people think he's 6'3.5". By the way, Kevin McHale with 3 personal fouls. And 3 fouls at this point is not real foul trouble. I think at this juncture of the game, when you pick up 4, then you're in foul trouble.
Or 5. That's deep foul trouble.
6 is real bad, I hear.
6 and you're out.
Dantley 6 for 6 from the line, where he struggled in Game 6. And a 1-point lead for the Pistons again. Back and forth we go. Bird gets it by Dantley, and a runner scores.
What a tough shot as the Pistons played beautiful defense that time, but Bird went right into the teeth of it for the shot.
He's got 25, and there's Dantley going into the teeth of the Celtic defense. Sally goes up, and a foul. Sally got the rebound, and that's going to be McHale's 4th foul. 4 on Kevin, and now you'd have to say he's in foul trouble.
Larry Bird is guarding John Sally, and Sally is very aware that Bird is a help defender. so that whenever Bird leaves him, he heads right to the hoop, to the glass. And he's so quick, none of the guards can get to him with the Celtics.
Celtics enjoyed a team foul advantage for a while. Now they have 4. Pistons have been in the penalty. Dumars. Danley has a new clock. 73-72, the Celtics. Dumars and Parrish gets the rebound. And the Celtics, with under 4 minutes to go in the third, will try to open it up to 3.
Celtics changed their defense that time. They had Bird guarding Adrian Dantley.
And Bird uses the glass. 27 for Bird. Looking like he wants to take charge here. Thomas. And McHale gets the outlet to Ames, who's in no hurry.
Green just overleaped that rebound and left McHale to just pick it off.
Celtics can make it a 5-point lead, and they do. Ames. The Chiefs drive, and Robert Parrish, who's playing in pain, has played a major role in the last 2 Boston baskets.
They're going to see Robert Parrish right here get a pass from Danny Ainge, who will then cut to the basket, and he reads the defense perfectly. A 7-footer down in that low post who's got that kind of experience. He just lifts up and waits Danny Ainge to clear for the easy 2. Now here's Parrish picking for Larry Bird. Sticks out the big 0-0, and out comes Bird, gets the ball into the defense, and with that balance, gets the necessary 2.
Those are the numbers for injured Robert Parrish. Meanwhile, the Detroit Pistons have brought in Vinnie Johnson to try to get things cooking. He is 3 of 8 from the field and has scored 6 points. So Vinnie Johnson is in the ball game now, along with Dumars, Laimbeer, Dantley, and Sally. 5-point lead as the Celtics have scored 6 straight points. They get it into Dantley. Batted out of bounds. Detroit ball with 7 on the clock, and Chuck Daly can't believe there was no foul on that play.
Well, Dantley just hedged for people to jump into and create contact. I thought that was a very discreet call by
Darren Day is in, and McHale goes out to this hand and 4 personals and 20 points.
I don't believe this man is still walking around.
8 of 9 from the field. Sally misses. Under 3 minutes to go in the third, and the Celtics can open up a 7-point lead, which would match their lead early in this game. They've scored 6 in a row.
It's been half-court offense against half-court offense. Boston executes normally a lot better.
And Dantley on the follow-up. Robert Parrish is really limping. I mean limping in a big way. Dumars comes back and hits. Tommy, the observation is so true that if the Pistons are going to try to win a half-court game in the Celtics in the 4th period, they got the short end of the stick.
That's my personal belief. They've got 2 people, big people, who are the normal guys you break down in a fast-break offense, who are slow to begin with and now have bad feet, can't get up and down the court. And
Bill Walton gets off the bench, Tommy. Bill Walton is going to come in.
Dick, I wonder how effective Bill Walton's going to be. He has not played in, I think, at least a couple of weeks, and that is only after he only played that night a minute and a half. I don't think he's sharp at all, but maybe the inspiration of him being on the court will be helpful in his intelligence playing defense.
He's got the crowd going even louder than they were. So Walton is in for Parrish.
And
has not played in this series and wasn't expected to. 2 minutes to go in the third period. Pick and roll. And the foul against the Pistons. And Walton will shoot. That'll be 4 against Adrian Dantley. What can Walton give them now? Rebounding?
Walton can give them rebounding if he's got his timing and his legs underneath him. He's already given them the emotional lift, but he's got to get his timing down, and that's where I think he may be way off.
They've changed the foul to Sally, so Sally picks up his 4th, and Dantley still has 3. The Redhead tried to go in Game 7 against Milwaukee briefly and couldn't do it. He's had the big ankle problem all year after playing 80 games and helping the Celtics to a title a year ago. He missed the free throws, but Celtics still lead by 5. And that'll be Darren Day with the push, and Dantley will go to the line.
Whenever Darren Day is defending against Adrian Dantley, he tries to low post him. Day is quicker, tries to move his feet. They require a good pass inside for Dantley to get the ball and score. But they also, Darren Day is going to be physical with Dantley down there, and he's liable to pick up some fouls.
Frank Layden didn't want him in Utah. The Pistons took him and are glad they did. Perfect from the line today. And it's important that he is efficient from the line because that's his game.
He represents the only low post game that they have, and he can only do it against certain players. Against bigger players, he takes them outside and drives to the hoop, and that's what they hope to rely on when they get into that half court coming down the stretch.
He has 10 points this period. Normally, he's been a first-half scorer.
In this series, he has been anyway.
Celtics lead is 3. A minute and a half remaining. Bird fake a 3. Haynes open. Goes to Day. Blind shot by Day. Not a good one. Lambeer the rebound. Nearly thrown away by Vinnie Johnson. Dumars long range hits. He's kept the Pistons in this game. He's got 27 points.
Big shot, but they up quick. Allowed Dumars to be open. I'll tell you, he's playing like a burglar, Joe Dumars.
12 of 17, as you saw a glimpse of Isaiah Thomas on the bench. Bird. And the Pistons can regain the lead after trailing by 5.
With Parrish on the bench, McHale on the bench, I don't think Walton's got the feet and the legs right now to get the offensive glass for the Celtics.
Vinnie Johnson hits one, and now the Detroit Pistons have taken the lead again. They have scored 6 in a row. It's been a streak shooting kind of game for both sides. Haynes for 3, got that tie. And Dantley, and all of a sudden the Celtics have given up a lot of points and taken some bad shots there.
And they need a timeout to get their offense together. Who are they going to attack? Ainge took a bad shot that time. And look at Vinny here going to control the offense while Isaiah's on the bench.
8 on the shot clock for Detroit. Trying to force the pass in the lane and picked up, and a foul as Ainge and Dumars. 2 men are down for the Pistons. One of them is Vinnie Johnson, and the other one is the more severe player, Adrian Dantley. They bumped heads. And in this heat, it's got to be worse.
And it looks like Adrian Dantley is really hurt. He hasn't moved since he got hit.
Mike Abdenauer is out there checking on him. He is really woozy. Let's see it again.
There's a dive for the ball.
Ooh, boy, that hurt.
He hit heads, and without helmets, that's got to hurt. And it looked like Dantley's neck got sprung a little bit. Watch it again. But this is pure out hustle, and they just collided head on head.
This is a war of attrition, this series. Dantley is getting up slowly. He may not know where he is right now. Vinnie Johnson is up. He was the guy who banged heads with AD, and now they're going to keep him down. That's Dr. Tom Silva on the... It's just ironic, Tommy. We've all been talking about the Celtics problems, the injuries, the walking wounded, and all the rest. And here, the Detroit Pistons lose their top scorer in the final seconds of the third period of Game 7. Isn't, you know, that's the unlikely twists of sports sometimes.
This is a real challenge now for the rest of the Pistons. Somebody's going to have to step to the fore and control the offense and score those needed points, probably inside. Now, Lambier is an outside shooting center. Maybe Vinnie Johnson will be the guy.
Sally is on the line. Let's go to Pat O'Brien for a report.
All right, Dick, outside the Detroit Pistons locker room, the problem was that he was not responding at all. They don't think it's his back. They think it's his head more than anything else. They're going to get him to a hospital as quickly as they can. I'll keep you up to date. Back to you, Dick.
Thank you, Pat. You've been a busy man. 8 seconds to go, and Sally missed the first free throw. Greg Kite and Sam Vincent in the game for the first time. Sally missed both of them. He has struggled from the line. Detroit has a 1-point lead. The Celtics looking to take the lead. And Vincent will have a chance as Dumars fouls him.
They put Greg Kite in because obviously Bill Walton wasn't getting the job done. And Sam Vincent will be in there to pick up the game for the Celtics to try and help them get some easy hooks. He is a penetrator and a good middleman.
Vincent will go to the line with 2 seconds to go. This is Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. The 7th and deciding game. The dramatic finish to this series of the Eastern Conference, with the winner moving on to face the Lakers in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Tuesday night. The score is tied for the 8th time, and the Celtics can take the lead. They were down by 1 at the half. Detroit led by 7 after 1 period.
Just 2 seconds left in this quarter for the Pistons to get it up and get a decent shot.
You know what, Tommy? I wonder how the Pistons will come out, whether they're real shaken by Adrian Dantley's departure. The Celtics lead by 1 and will return to the Boston Garden after this word from your local station. We start the 4th period with the Celtics leading the Pistons by 1. Adrian Dantley was injured, and the report is that Dantley has suffered a concussion, but he is going to be all right. And a call is being made to Dantley's wife to inform her of those facts. So the Pistons, Tommy, are going to have to go without their big gun, and I'm anxious to see, besides what they do on the floor, with Rodman in there now, whether this inexperienced team at this kind of pressure situation could respond to losing a leader like that.
Detroit got Adrian Dantley because of his inside play. This has always been a perimeter team, the Pistons, until Dantley arrived. That's why they're probably going to have to try and win this game.
We've played 6 games in 3 periods. We have 1 left, and Vincent steals the ball from Thomas. But he misses the layup. Thomas harassed him from behind. The two who play in the summer months in Michigan. Lambier. And Detroit has the lead by 1. Robert Parrish is in the game along with McHale and Bird, Dennis Johnson and Sam Vincent, Thomas, Vinnie Johnson, Sally, Rodman, and Lambier for Detroit.
Boy, Lambier sure does find the soft spot in the Celtics defense to get open for those outside shots.
McHale, who has 20. And a steal by Rodman. 3-on-1 break. Thomas and Rodman gets the basket, and Larry Bird with his 2nd foul of the game. So the Pistons have come out and responded early in the 4th.
2 streakers in this ball game right now. Help break the game open in the 4th quarter out in Pontiac, and a bad pass by Kevin McHale right into the hands of Rodman. And look how quickly he makes it the Celtics pay.
It's 85-81, and the Pistons have scored the first 5 points in less than a minute of this final period.
The Celtics have not played good defense or even good offense since the quarter started.
Bird leads with 27, McHale 20, Dennis Johnson 11. Parrish against Lambier, and a foul from behind by Dennis Rodman.
I think they came away lucky that time. They had worked Parrish so far up the lane, it was just a 1-step drop down for Rodman to go and almost block that shot by Parrish.
Ricky Mahorn will come back in, and Lambier will go out. So they lose a couple of inches. They get some beef, and they still have the speed in there, Detroit.
Mahorn has done yeoman work on the boards when this team has really made some runs.
Team fouls are 1-1. The hub of the Celtics inner defense is Robert Parrish, who has scored 8 points in this game.
It's going to be in the hands of Isaiah Thomas to create some good opportunities for the likes of Vinnie Johnson.
There's Vinnie Johnson, and there's the basket. 87-82. The biggest lead either team has enjoyed today, 7 points.
They have got a playbook full of outside shots.
Dennis Johnson. Harris posting up. And he's pushed by Mahorn. I thought he did a good job in backing Mahorn in.
Mahorn has been playing a finesse type of defense. He's been leaning on a man and then backing away. And now you see that Parrish gets the ball. Mahorn went to get into the passing lane, and that turned Parrish loose to the baseline for that cramp.
And Tommy, Rick Mahorn has 5 personal fouls. The only player in the game with 5. One more and he's out of there. Laimbeer gets off the bench, and he'll be checking in. Detroit by 2. Misses. Sally goes up, and he's fouled. Celtics thought they tied him up. Darryl Garretson looked at it differently.
He is so active on the rebounds, John Sally, and the Celtics are making a cardinal mistake. They're not going to the block out of him first.
Kevin McHale now has 5 personal fouls. So McHale for the Celtics and Mahorn for the Pistons have 5. But losing McHale would be a lot worse for Boston.
Well, Danley's pretty important for the Pistons.
We're talking about between Mahorn and McHale.
Right, offensively. But McHale represents what Dantley represents to the Pistons offense coming down the stretch. Mahorn is really a defensive player and on the boards.
Well, McHale gives the Celtics the offensive rebounding and some shot blocking inside. In any event, Sally, who's 2 for 5 at the line, will try to give the Pistons a 4-point lead.
Bird will end up with John Sally, more than likely, and Darren Day will end up with Dennis Rodman.
The winner goes to the NBA Finals, and it starts Tuesday at Inglewood against the Lakers. The loser, that's it. Harris playing lane, setting a pick. Vincent going strong to the hoop, blocked by Rodman. And here is Isaiah Thomas, 2 Celtics back. Thomas. Another chance. Sally tried to slam it in and miss. The Pistons had 3 opportunities, came up with nothing. And Bird is fouled. That's a big difference from one end to the other.
Some great defensive plays by both clubs that time.
And the foul is against Laimbeer, his 4th. What a game. Well, if you think the drama has been fierce, the NBA Finals begin Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be the Lakers at home against one of these teams, the survivor. And Tommy, right now with 9:34 remaining and a lot of time left, is there any team that has an edge to this point? Can you see any team that deep down may have one?
There's no momentum going on right now. Mahorn, though, could provide some rebounding to help get Sally and Rodman out on the break. But the Celtics are countering that pretty well. The Celtics don't have a real inside game to go to right now. But Bird is scoring, and he's making his presence felt. So I think it's still even Steven.
It looks that way, and Isaiah Thomas, who maybe has to handle a lot of the burden without Adrian Dantley, who left with a concussion with 8 seconds left in the 3rd period, having scored 18. Thomas is struggling from the field. He is shooting under 33% and has hit only 2 of his last 12. Thomas has 14 points, and he really has not been a big factor in this game.
He has not really gotten into a groove where he can set up a player You know, players count on using different types of moves and reading the defense and then countering them. It's like a boxer. They'll throw some jabs and then they'll throw an uppercut and combinations. And Isaiah, I don't think, has handled the ball enough to be able to set up any one of his defenders to make himself felt offensively.
And as Bird makes the free throw, once again, you saw the graphic showing how the Pistons have been subpar shooting from the line. And when you lose a 7-game series, if the Celtics win, you can always look at a lot of points that they missed opportunities to get.
Big point. Danny Ainge is on the bench right now, gathering strength maybe for outside shooting purposes.
And McHale also on the bench with 5 fouls. Vinnie Johnson guarded by Dennis with 9:20 to go. Offensive rebounding, and Bird comes up with it with a chance to tie the score for the Celtics.
Two players that have not been in this position all season long, Sam Vincent and Darren Day. Crunch time, fourth quarter.
And Walton gave it a try for a minute. Bird hits a big one. And a tie ball game. Larry Bird has 31. He has scored at least 30 in the last 3 games of the series. This is pressure time. Rodman, the rookie, throws up an air ball. Lambier, blocked shot, gets another chance. And Parrish is fouled by Rodman. And that's the 15th foul and the penalty for the Pistons. Let's see if that's the case, or is it still 4? I'm sorry, they still have 4 fouls. 1 more and they're in the penalty. The Celtics have committed only 2 fouls, so it looks like Boston will be shooting penalty shots with a lot of this period remaining.
Danny Ainge with fresh legs back in the ball game for Sam Vincent.
Darren Day is in there. There's Dennis Johnson. Penetrating nicely is Dennis Johnson.
Bill Lambier had to pick up Dennis Johnson, take away the outside shot with his rush, and then allow Johnson to just blow right by him.
8 minutes to go. Boston by 2. Bird the rebound on Vinnie Johnson's miss. You wonder whether this is where the Celtics will perform their magic.
Well, this is where their experience pays off.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Sally the rebound as Dennis Johnson misses, and this is as fierce a basketball as you'll find.
Get out of the way. The truck is coming, mother.
And Detroit, ice cold after the quick early start in this 4th period. Thomas goes around, and Larry Bird commits his 3rd foul.
Larry Bird, all-out hustle. He gets Sally. Sally kind of tripped him there. Bird lost his balance, and he just made sure that Pistons did not gain possession of the ball. Well, that could have been a foul.
3rd team foul for Boston. Joe Dumars comes in for Vinnie Johnson. Vinnie Johnson goes out having scored 10. Dumars is the Pistons' leading scorer with 27. Here's Joe.
Well, Joe will have to heat up once again like he did in the first half right now as the Pistons are searching for hot fingertips.
Tied at 91.
This is Dantley time for the Pistons. He's not here.
Went out with a concussion. Final seconds of the 3rd period. Delighted with Vinnie Johnson, and we'll have an update soon. Bird, fall away. And Darren Day gets a big offensive rebound. Inside to Parrish. Blocked by Rodman and Sally. What a job the 2 rookies did on Parrish.
Why, Rodman is a leaper, and so is Sally. But Sally looks like he's tiring out a little bit, Dick.
Sure, he's never played in this heat. Thomas has his shot blocked from behind by Ainge. There's Parrish. Foul, Lambier. And that's 5 on Lambier. There goes Adrian Dantley leaving, heading for the hospital. Here's Pat O'Brien.
All right, Dick, they are taking Adrian Dantley to Mass General Hospital with a concussion. They say he'll be okay. They just want to take a look at him. We'll be back with more of Game 7 from the Boston Garden after this word. Stay with us. 6:39 left in the game.
The scene in Boston Garden in the 4th period of the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Final. Tomorrow, you'll see the final round of Jack Nicklaus's Memorial Tournament beginning at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Scott Hope has a 4-stroke lead. The 3rd round play was suspended because of rain. Robert Parrish is limping. Adrian Dantley left with a concussion. 3 players in the game have 5 personal fouls. And Kevin McHale is playing with 5. Vinnie Johnson, who collided with Dantley, still has the ice pack on his head.
He may have gotten a little woozy in that thing and thrown himself off just the necessary little bit to stop missing.
Lane Beer on the bench with 5. He gave it a try today. Bill Walton couldn't do it. And Larry Bird has played the entire game for the Celtics. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and great defense.
Still 6.5 minutes. Wow.
I guess, Tommy, it's who can dig down deeper now. Isaiah Thomas gets by Ames.
He has been a man in ball games over the past that has taken their offense totally into his hands. Isaiah Thomas.
He had missed his last 7 shots before he connected there. Parrish setting a screen, and a pick and roll with Bird doesn't develop. Now it does. Rodman defending. And Parrish makes a tough shot.
Great shot by Robert Parrish.
Boston by 2. Thomas against Ainge again. Ties the score again.
Danny Ainge is making a classic mistake. He's letting Isaiah get by him and reaching from behind for steals. He's got to contain him between his legs.
12 times this game has been knotted up. Bird wide open. 33 for 33. 33. A lot of time remaining.
This is going to be a tough ride home, Richard.
Thomas blocked out of bounds by Johnson with 10 seconds on the clock. Well, if the Celtics lose, they're not going to have to ride home.
No, I mean you and me.
Oh.
This is getting rocky here. Here's DJ's block. Everybody knows that Isaiah is going to take over the offense right now. The Celtics will be keying on him to help Danny Ainge.
Mahorn hits a big open shot with 5 minutes to go. We've had ties at 89, 91, 93, 95, and now at 97.
Isaiah read the defense perfectly that time to give Mahorn the ball.
5 possessions, 5 ties for each side. 4:42 and running. Bird's left-hander goes.
Get that one out of the book. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Celtics by 2. Neither team giving an inch. And I guess this is why you grow up to want to play this game. Dumars. Short. Own rebound. Another tie, this time at 99.
Dennis Johnson just stretched out to give Dumars so much trouble on that jump shot. He just went right by him and allowed Dumars to go back and get the rebound.
Nearly a steal by Thomas. Ainge, no foul, goes for 3. Bird is there with the rebound. Who else? Plenty of time on the shot clock. We're under 4 minutes in the game. All knotted up. Bird for 3. McHale gets the rebound, and the Celtics keep getting second and third chances.
I wonder why they're not getting the ball to McHale a little bit. That's where they can pick up some inside play.
Pistons are trying to play without Adrian Dantley, who went out of the game with a concussion, taken to the hospital. Their leading scorer. Bird for 2, short. And guess who? The Celtics have it again. McHale misses. Parrish inside. Bird has it. 5 offensive rebounds in this sequence by the Boston Celtics to try to break a tie at 99. Danny Ainge, three-pointer. If the Pistons don't come back and win, that will be the key possession of this game.
Bird does a "you can't find me," Dennis Rodman, and he comes up, and look at the move. By the time Rodman gets back out to him, Bird uncorks his left hand up the other end. Dumas follows his shot and steps in among the Giants. Mahorn almost picks it off, but Dumas up and in for the Pistons, and a three-pointer after 5 offensive rebounds. Danny Ainge with fresh legs after about 5 minutes on the bench, and it's while away the time here, Dick. Nothing happened.
Well, a lot of time remaining. 2:52 is an eternity. But if the Celtics win the game without the Pistons coming back, that may be the key sequence of this game. Thomas picked up by Parrish on a switch, and Isaiah hits one. It's 102 to 101, the timeout situation, which could come into play. Boston 3, Detroit 2, and the Celtics with 1 foul to give. Bird with 35, make it 37.
When he's got a big man on him, he's got to taunt him and make him just go off bounds the least little bit, and then he'll take the outside shot.
Thomas and Bird have scored the last 2 baskets. Thomas fires one up. Mahorn gets the rebound and will shoot and go to the line. Tommy, a point you were going to make.
Well, Isaiah just came back with the very same situation against Kevin McHale. Got him to move back and just lofted it. But Mahorn, who's been dynamite in this series with all kinds of reboundings, made a big one there.
Harris's 3rd foul and the 14th foul against Boston. At the conclusion of the game, Tom and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Miller Lite will present a check in the amount of $1,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society in that player's name. 1 out of 2, and it's 104-102 Boston. Winding down to 2 minutes.
Whose hands are the ball going to be in for the Celtics? If it's anybody else other than Larry Bird right now, he is willing the ball in.
Every possession critical. Ainge. And the rebound. Rodman had it and lost it. Has it again. And Ainge fouls Isaiah Thomas. And Ainge and Thomas. And I think that, well, it's a natural feeling for Isaiah Thomas, who was off to the races, and a good foul by Ainge.
It was. And Isaiah did a great job of keeping his cool. But there's Bird trying to make the rebound. And look, Isaiah busts out, and Danny Ainge knew that they would have a fast break opportunity, and Isaiah saying, hey, I'm going to pop you in the chops, and then thinking better out of it. Good control by Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah is 3 for 3 from the line today. Team fouls, both clubs in the penalty. Ainge now with 4 personal. The next one could tie the game. It would tie the game.
Buckle up, Richard. This is going down to the wire.
7th game. The winner goes on to the NBA Final. Thomas can only make 1. Back defensively is Mahorn, and the Celtics will use the clock with a 1-point lead. You watch the time on the lower right hand.
Celtics have to get a good shot here, not be so content with dropping the clock down below. They're down to 7 seconds now.
Bird, wide open, Dennis Johnson, big one.
What a play by Bird to create that shot.
Thomas goes up, and the ball was taken away. It was blocked inside, and the Celtics may be taking control here. A A basket here for Boston would put an awful lot of pressure on the Detroit Pistons with a minute to go. McHale. Lambeer the rebound with under a minute to go, and Detroit calls a timeout. There's your story, and the Pistons have only one timeout left. Want to remind you, Red Auerbach and Don Gaston. But what a series this has been. Larry Bird stole the ball. Detroit winning big in Detroit. We had some fisticuffs. It's been truly a marvelous series of basketball.
We've seen a young team grow in stature and a gritty champion trying to defend their title the best way they knew how after getting hit on the chops and on the chin hard.
Pistons would be wise to try for 2 and not 3. Dumars gets 2 in a hurry, and it's a one-point game. Dumars with 31.
That play, the pick and roll at the top, has allowed the Piston guards to drive right to the gut. The Celtics have not played that play well.
Shot clock shows 13. Dennis Johnson passed up the shot, and Danny Ainge hit it. And the Pistons will call timeout. Big basket by Danny Ainge in the last timeout by the Pistons.
Well, the Pistons need a score. It doesn't have to be a three-point play. They have been very effective with using Joe Dumars off that pick and roll. The Celtics reluctant to really worry about Dumars. They appear to be more concerned about Isaiah Thomas. There is no low post game to go to. But if Isaiah penetrates, this man you're looking at, Bill Lambier, could hit a clutch outside shot.
What's been critical down the stretch for the Pistons were missed free throws by Mahorn and Isaiah Thomas, where they struggled throughout the series. They could use those 2 points right here. Thomas goes for 3, misses. McHale the rebound, and we're going to have a foul called against Joe Dumars of Detroit. And that may be all she wrote.
Well, they went for the 3 right on the inbound, and immediately thinking that they would have 2 shots. Now McHale must make these. I thought they should have just gone for the score. They still could have fouled. You watch the inbound play right away. He's behind the three-pointer, but you look at Lambier and McHale go for that rebound. Lambier doing his job, McHale doing his job. Important right now that Boston make the Pistons waste some time on the clock before they take a shot if possible.
That's what Danny Ainge is trying to do.
No timeouts left for the Pistons.
Thomas going strong to the hoop. Gets the basket with 13 seconds, and Detroit has to foul, and foul in a hurry. And there it is, Thomas on Dennis Johnson. But he can wrap it up with 2 free throws. What a gallant warrior he's been. But keep in mind, the Pistons had to play this last period without their ace in the hole, Adrian Dantley, who went to the hospital with a concussion. It's been that kind of a series. And if Boston wins again, well, it was Game 7 at the Garden. But the Detroit Pistons have so much to be proud of, Tommy, because a lot of people didn't think they'd even survive the first round of the playoffs.
Right now, they're making an adjustment defensively. Rama Parrish goes out. Darren Day will be the man who will have to play some good defense right now.
Parrish, 16 points and 11 rebounds. No more timeouts for Detroit. They have 11 seconds left.
It is still not over.
And a foul is called against Dennis Johnson, which was the last thing the Celtics ever wanted in this situation.
That was as dumb a foul, Dick, as you can want to make from an experienced player at a key point. Make them spend some time bringing the ball up. Now they're going to get a chance to score 2 points on free throw.
You never want to stop the clock if you're ahead late in the game, especially without timeouts and a lead of 5. Dumars.
They may live to regret that foul by Dennis Johnson.
Now Parrish comes back into the ball game. And the Pistons are going to have to foul where the Celtics have been outstanding from the line. Everyone all game. Darren Day leaves. Sally comes in for Lane Beer.
You must play intelligent basketball. You can't make a single mistake coming down the stretch. You saw what happened in the game here 5 when Isaiah just made a nonchalant pass. How Bird converted that into a Celtic win.
Mahorn almost tipped it in, and there's Sally who gets 2. 7 seconds to go. It's a 2-point game, and the Celtics are going to call timeout. And so because of that mistake by Dennis Johnson and a 3-point play by the Detroit Pistons, they're down by 2, and that'll force Boston to make free throws. Point lead with 11 seconds to go before the foul by Dennis Johnson. The first thing, of course, for the Pistons would be to try to make a steal on the inbound.
It's very definitely go for a steal and try and pick it off without fouling. And if you miss the steal, then foul them. Don't go for the foul right away. They still have an opportunity to win this ball game. If they do end up fouling, they can still come back, rush it up the court, and hit a 3-point play.
Keep in mind, Joe Dumars intentionally missed that second free throw, and it worked for the Pistons as Mahorn got the basket. So now the crucial inbound pass, 7 seconds to go. They'll try for the steal, and if they can't do that, they'll foul and hope the Celtics miss 1 at least.
It's not easy to inbound the ball. And everybody is anticipating somebody coming to it. Sally may be a key player in this attempt. He may have to take somebody coming strong to the ball.
Dennis Johnson inbounds. Ainge. And a blocking foul, Rodman. So Ainge will go to the line with 6 seconds. So they used about 1 second off of that clock. Well, now it's all in the hands of Danny Ainge, because if he makes both free throws, the Pistons will not, barring an incredible mental mistake, and we've seen one already, may not have enough chance to come back in.
He's got to make the 2 to put the game away.
And it all may be riding here. This is a 3-point lead. Pistons are out of timeouts. The Celtics getting set with what they're going to do after the free throw. Day is back in.
Day is important right now. They're going to use him in place of Kevin McHale for speed purposes, to deny people the ball, keep them in front, make them waste the time in the backcourt, not let Joe Dumars take off up the court.
He makes them both. 5 seconds, and now they foul Thomas with 4 seconds to play. Explain that one.
I have no idea why they fouled him. I absolutely have no idea why they fouled him. Now, he gives Isaiah Thomas 1 chance, 2 chances to score.
I don't understand it, because he can make 1, they miss 1, get a 3-point play and tie it up.
Absolutely. I cannot understand what was running through Dennis Johnson's mind.
But it had to be a play sent in. I mean, I don't think Dennis Johnson just did that on his own, Tommy. I don't think he did.
Well, then somebody made a big mistake, in my opinion.
Well, the Celtics are, if they win, are really escaping with the thinnest of margins with the way they've handled the last 11 seconds.
They better go and control this missed shot, because Isaiah may try and miss it. That's why McHale is back in right now.
He does, and he throws it away. He didn't get it on the rim enough and threw it away, and it's going to be Celtics ball, and they can still foul the Celtics, who lead by 3. No time ticked off the clock, and a pushing foul, a 2-shot foul coming up. Dennis Rodman commits it. Celtics are already celebrating, and the Pistons have to hope Boston misses both.
I still can't believe that Dennis Johnson made 2 fouls in that type of situation. I hope that chronic fatigue isn't affecting his brain.
Now, Tommy, Because that foul was made before the inbounds, it'll be...
And the ball.
A shot and the ball.
Right.
Is it one shot?
Two shots.
Two shots and the ball. No, one shot in the ball. Dennis Johnson turned around to check. But it's a moot point, really. Although you never knew down the stretch. The Boston Celtics are 4 seconds away. And Isaiah Thomas threw a body block on Danny Ainge and shook him up. The crowd boos Thomas. Thomas is out of the game. He has not fouled out. He just leaves it. And a bitter disappointment for the Detroit Pistons, who almost won Game 5 and had the lead, lost it. And today, in a very tight game, saw the Celtics, as they always do, find a way to win down the stretch at home.
Well, they're imitating Dennis Rodman right now in their celebration. I didn't like what Rodman did out in Pontiac, so they're imitating him in their victory here.
The Lakers are in the finals for 6 of the last 8. They'll face the Celtics for the 9th time in NBA history. The basket is good. Joe Dumars, Lambeer and Parrish shook hands. The Boston Celtics will go to the finals again. And an opportunity for the Celtics to repeat as NBA champions. (117 to 114) in a classic at Boston Garden. Player of the game is Larry Bird, who played every minute of this game. Larry Bird scored 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. The Celtics and the Lakers again. So for Tom Heinsohn and Pat O'Brien, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Boston Garden, where the final score, the Celtics 117, the Pistons 114. Join us on Tuesday evening for Game 1 of the 1987 NBA Finals between the Celtics and the Lakers. And remember, tomorrow on CBS, final round coverage of the Memorial Tournament. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.